garden bed demo and makeover, measuring it, and I have to video this right now for myself and for my guys for instructions, so I'm going to take you along with me. Follow along, check this out. Alright, this particular customer wants all of this garden bed area removed and turned into grass. Why? Because they want low maintenance. So the first thing I'm looking at is square footage. You got about 265 square feet there, you got another 200 total square feet here, and I'm seeing berms. There was a tree under here before, so I want to look for the unknown and dig under there or see what's going on and make sure that this tree was properly ground all the way so we don't run into roots, which means I'm going to want a dingo machine. This is too much digging by hand with wheelbarrows. You can do it, but I'm going to want a dingo because there's too much material. All these plants are gone. We're going to remove everything slightly below the grade and then regrade it and pitch it away from the house on a 410 pitch. Basically, 410 pitch is every 10 feet it drops 4 inches. Here, not that much. Maybe like a 210 pitch, let's say, just so it matches the grade of the grass and it's away from the house, because right now it's grading towards the freaking house. So we're gonna cut this down, remove it with the dingo, blow grade, put 2 inches of topsoil, and we're doing grass seed, not sod. Sod is more expensive than grass seed. You do grass seed and peat moss or hay, depending on how hot it is out. They both work fine. And then we give the customer watering instructions, and we return in 2 weeks to do another coating of seed as a courtesy to the customer to make sure it germinates. This Bradford pear tree right here needs to be thinned out, trimmed, elevated, pruned, and trim all the way from the house. And general reduction and bilateral pruning of like just the really long branches up there. Just trim the whole thing up, trim all these burning bush, these boxwoods, and we're keeping this garden bed edge. And the customer kind of wants an idea of how we can fix this. So I think we're gonna keep the radius going around the tree and curve it in and then kidney shape it back out so it matches the parallel line of that bed, and everything else will become grass. So we're doing standard maintenance at trimming all this up. This garden bed is way too high. It's literally, you know, probably 15 years of mulch after mulch after mulch. It's all compressed and composted, turned back into topsoil, so it's too high. We're gonna have to come in with the dingo and remove, you know, 6 inches of matter, maybe 7 to 8 inches at the highest point, and then all along here, and we want to regrade it all below and then mulch it, a new layer of mulch. They want to get rid of all this plastic edging too. So when I'm quoting this, I'm looking at $1,200 a day for 3 guys plus disposal fees minus the cost of materials on the job site. So with the cost of a dingo on the property is $400 for a day. We could call this whole area $1,200 plus you know, $100 in dumping fees. That's 13. The dingo is 4. That's 17. And then fresh topsoil and grass seed. We're gonna need literally half a yard of topsoil. It's $1,800 for the front, coming around to the side and back here. Now, last time I did a quote like this, it was 13 grand, and I totally messed up something and I couldn't upload the video. So don't put a bold underline after anything I'm saying, because I go through everything again with a fine-tooth comb. There was a tree here, and now it's graded, reverse graded towards the house, and water's pooling there. So we're gonna take some topsoil, we're gonna cut this down, and then build up the grade by the basement window. See in there? To fix that pitch and run it all the way up underneath here. Done. All the way over here, this Bradford pear tree is huge. We're gonna reduce the load-bearing branches. They're lines-tailed going up over the house, which means that there's all this shag on the outside and that's just one long skinny branch. So it's very load-bearing, like a lion's tail. Makes it more prone to breaking, ripping, tearing, falling on the patio, falling on a person. So we're gonna trim from the ground. Just trim up this whole tree and thin out the inside, jump in the neighbor's yards and prune it all the way back, and overall reduce the size of the tree. And then this garden bed underneath it, we're removing 100% of everything, turning it back into grass for low maintenance. So I'm stepping around back here, looking at any excess debris. Is there any rocks or boulders or what's in here? Poke around and see. So coming over here, this locust tree needs to be trimmed, pruned, elevated, remove all the dead wood on the inside, everything hanging low and all the shag that's horizontal or drooping and going into the neighbor's yards and over the arborvitaes. Just prune all this back very, very carefully. We're gonna have to rope that down so like when you trim it, it doesn't fall on the freaking privacy fence, because then you're charged with having to fix a fence. So this is all simple stuff you can do from the ground. Pruning poles if you are experienced and know what you're doing, otherwise don't do it. And then this whole garden bed here needs to be turned back into grass completely. All this mulch. So we're gonna rip out the garden bed edging restraint any of this fabric, pull it all out and put it in the dump trailer, and then regrade topsoil and put seed, starter fertilizer, hay, and watering instructions. So you're looking at another 1,800 in work back here, plus the trees now. I'll include that tree in 1,800, but this tree is gonna be $1,000 itself. So we got 3,600 plus this tree is 4,600, and I didn't include the price of all the grass seed and peat moss and hay. We're looking at about $250 in materials for grass seed, peat moss, hay. 36, 46, 47, 48, 48.50. Something I'm missing here. I can feel it. I can feel there's something I'm missing. 48.50. And I'm missing. What am I missing? I made a dumb mistake and now we're fixing it. So we're finishing up this landscape job and about to be out of here off to the next job, and the customer thought that, I don't talk anything about my actual customers, I'm just saying in general, the customer thought we were doing a weed barrier fabric underneath all the front garden beds before putting the mulch down. And I'm sure the customer said it. Somehow it slipped my mind. I didn't put it on the work order, the contract, the job description. I was like, didn't think anything of it. And so now we're raking very carefully all the mulch to one side and in piles. And then now we're installing all the fabric, then putting the mulch onto the fabric. And then where the mulch is contacting the dirt, the thin layer, we're raking all that up and discarding it. And then we're gonna put fabric and we're gonna have to go get a little bit more mulch. This will probably take us 2.5 hours to fix this. And it could be way worse, right? Not even a big deal. It's just 2 garden beds that need fabric and mulch. But here's what I learned. Here's what I learned. When you make a mistake, anybody can make that mistake. How do you respond? Sure, it can feel like a pit in your stomach. It can feel like your stomach is turning. Now, we could have installed an entire patio and it's the wrong color brick, or installed an entire retaining wall and it was something totally wrong and you gotta rip it up and redo it. I hear stories like that in our landscape community. I'm like, whoa. Stan Genetic talks about how he got ripped off for an $80,000 retaining wall and never got paid. This is 2.5 hours, not a big deal. But how do you respond? It's like, I've learned over the years, and I'm not great at this, give yourself an hour to be upset about it and say, okay, let's just fix it. The faster you get over it and just get the thing fixed right and as quickly as possible, is the faster you can move on to the next job and make money. For instance, if you got a customer that rips you off for a few $100, of course you can keep sending them invoices and stuff like that. But I think that if you let it take you down and you obsess over it, all of that mental time and energy and bandwidth is being wasted, where you could have just been on another job making money. So it's like the dips. You know what I'm saying? So next time something like that happens to you, or you make a dumb mistake, just fix it as quickly as possible and do it right and move on to the next thing. And that's just what happens when you're running a service business. And it's not even a big deal. We're fixing it. 2.5 hours. We're gonna be on to the next job right after. Yesterday, I was like, I was so pissed off at myself. Because when you're walking a property with a customer, there's a million questions you can ask and things you can cross every T and dot every I and still miss things. It's just happens. Oh yeah, I forgot. My how to start a landscaping business video training course. If you're trying to get your business off the ground, or you're in your first year of your business, you want to know how to go legit. How much should you pay yourself? License, insurance, taxes, registering your business, quoting, property walks, pricing, the entire lowdown about your landscaping business and avoiding tons of costly mistakes. My updated and revised landscaping course is now live, and it's really, really, really good stuff. I'll put it in the link in the description below this video. Look for, how to start a landscaping business course and click on it and buy that course. I promise you, if you're new in the business or you're trying to get started, this will equip you with so much knowledge and information that it will literally pay for itself over and over and over for years to come. I promise you that. It's really, really good. So get my How to Start a Landscaping Business video course, and as soon as you dive in, you'll love it. And I also have the trainings on MP3 as well, so you can download it and listen to them while you work. All right,